Hello, all, and welcome back. Let's talk about why I decided to go into nursing after spending a decade in EMS. When I talked about having to leave my 911 job previously, I took a job with a private ambulance company and ended up staying with that company for the better part of 4 years. During these 4 years, I had a chance to really take a step back and start looking and thinking more long term. I'd spent a lot of time up to this point just focusing on the job at hand. This is important, don't get me wrong, but you not only have to focus on the present, but you also have to be able to think a few moves ahead. Now, the job that I had, it gave me a chance to do that. For context, I worked at this company from early 2018 into 2022. There were some significant events that happened in 2020, both worldwide and for me. Nothing against this company that I was working for at the time, but honestly, I really needed a job, and it was just a setting that allowed me to step back and start to develop a long term plan. After a long time, I had settled on two possible long term plans for me as a paramedic. I was either going to try to get on a fire department and serve as both a firefighter and a paramedic, or I was going to try to jump on with critical care transport, either on the ground, in the air, or both. Both sound good, and honestly, both would have been good. The problem with the firefighter option was that I had no interest in structural firefighting. Of the three main jobs that firefighters are tasked with, I found EMS and technical rescue to be both very interesting, and I probably would have had a lot of fun doing them. The firefighting part wasn't as interesting to me, and the more that I hung around firefighters, the larger appreciation that I started to have for the detail and the nuance that is involved. I came to the conclusion that if I really wasn't passionate about the details of the most dangerous part of the job, it's probably not something that I needed to pursue. So that left jumping onto a critical care transport position as a paramedic. This honestly was something that I had been thinking about for quite a long time. I thought it represented a way to delve into medicine at a deep level and the chance to care for critically sick and injured people. However, this had some issues as well. The overarching one is at the end of the day, you're still a paramedic. In the spectrum of EMS positions, paramedics are at the top of the food chain. And as a paramedic, you will have the opportunity for the most varied types of employments. Once you are at the level of paramedic, you can move laterally quite easily from one position to another. Any and all experience is good. But once you're a medic, there is no upward movement available without going back to school. This means that there is a cap on your employment opportunities as well as your income. Now, while I do not think that money should be the predominant factor in any employment decision, to say that it does not matter is a flat out lie. This is when I started to look more at nursing. Honestly, I had thought about nursing on and off for several years. During my first undergraduate degree, I actually spent a year as a pre nursing major, but at that time, I was not ready for collegiate level hard sciences. I have had several nurses in my family, including my mom, so I had a pretty good idea of what the job entailed from the time that I was quite young. A registered nurse and a paramedic are actually quite similar in that once you have the certification or degree, you have a lot of lateral movement capability. The difference is that as a nurse, you have even more employment opportunities and a higher earning potential. I don't think it is an exaggeration to say that a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing is the most recession proof and adaptable degree that exists. No matter where you go in the US, you will be able to find a job in many different settings. This was a large factor in my decision when I settled on my path forward. I am a big fan of giving myself options, and the BSN fits that to a T. 3 years on, I can confidently say this is one of the best decisions that I have ever made. I am now in the possession of a degree that allows me to continue my work in emergency medicine, but it also gives me the ability to move laterally into any other setting that I would choose. One degree opens up an entire world of medicine. And if you have a desire to advance your education, it gives you every chance to, quote unquote, try before you buy. Nursing offered me and will offer anyone a chance to expand your knowledge base, interact with an infinite amount of specialties, and find a position that fits you best. That is the biggest reason why I chose it. And if you choose it, I am confident you will find more opportunities than you ever thought possible. Out of curiosity, if any of you have made the jump from EMS, but also really any other degree into nursing, I would love to know why you did that and you made that choice. Throw that down below in the comments. Thanks a bunch for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.